Don't buy that house. Well, you can buy that house, but before you do, let me give you 3 quick financial considerations you may want to think about before you do. They say that the stress of buying a home can be compared to death or divorce in some instances. Woo! I tell you what, as a realtor, man, that is stressful for me. So before you go out there and buy the house that maybe you're not that happy with down the road, let me give you 3 quick, often overlooked financial considerations. Man, that's a mouthful to consider, considerations to consider before you get into that house. All right. So number 1 is the roof. A roof, I just looked it up, in Florida, on average for a 2,000 square foot home to replace is $8,000 to $10,000. Now, a lot of people can afford that, but if you're looking at 2 or 3 homes and they're all kind of right in that same price range and they all have good solid roofs except for one, you may want to consider offering $5,000 to $10,000 less for that home, right? Because honestly, if you get into it, you're going to have to pay that extra $5,000 to $10,000 to replace that roof. And I say 5, not the 8 to 10, because if you've got a $10,000 roof, but it's half used, right? Half of its life is gone. That roof is worth half as much as a brand new roof that the other 2 homes may have. So consider that when you're making your offer, okay? Number 2, you want to look at the property taxes. You can go from county to county, neighborhood to neighborhood, city to city, and you're going to see different taxes. So make sure that you're looking at the taxes, because if you've got a $2,000 higher tax bill on one property than another, and they're very similar properties, over a 5-year span, that might be $10,000 in additional payments you're going to have to make. You might want to consider that in your payment. I'm not saying don't move forward if the roof is not in the condition you want it in. I'm not saying don't move forward if the taxes are a little bit higher. I'm saying make sure you consider it before you decide to pull the trigger. And then the third thing is assessments. What's an assessment? Assessment is sometimes a city or a neighborhood wants to do something inside of a neighborhood, right? The most common assessment, in my opinion, is getting city sewer or city water into an area, right? So they'll charge an assessment to all the property owners in that area, and then you have to pay it, right? So for an example, you might be looking at 2 different houses. Both are priced at $400,000. They got the same square footage, same bedrooms, bathrooms. Everything is the same, except one is already on city services and the other one has private well, private septic. They're going to get hooked up to city services, but it's a $10,000 assessment. That $10,000 assessment, to me, needs to be part of how you evaluate the value of that property, okay? So when you come in with that purchase agreement, I would not want to be exactly the same as the other offer. I would probably come in $10,000 lower, and I would explain to them why. Listen, I can go buy this exact same property and it's already got the services. With you, I'm gonna have to pay the $10,000. Or you can think of it this way too, right? You can readjust your offer and say, listen, I tell you what, I'll pay you what you're looking for, just like I would pay with that other home, right? But I'm gonna ask you to put aside money to pay for it. Either pay for it now or put into an escrow account the amount to cover that assessment, right? So there are 3 quick financial considerations you may want to think of before you get into your next home. Hey, if you like this video, please go down, hit that like button, subscribe, and if you hit that bell, every time my videos come up, boom, they'll pop up right quick for you. All right, thanks guys, I appreciate it, and stay fired up.